Pack your stuff and find another country that you might find more happiness in.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, please click on the subscribe button, like and share your thoughts on what you think about this video. So in this video, you guys won't just believe this, but yes, they said it. So you will see and hear fellow black people saying America is not an R to the cyst country. Guys, I don't know what these people are talking about, and as a black person, I refuse to agree to this statement, and I'm honestly distancing myself from this. I mean, we have seen, if not encounter, R to the cyst treatment or actions almost every day. So can somebody just tell me where they are getting their facts from? Because this can only come out from the so-called pick-me guys. What on earth can make someone turn a blind eye to reality or what's happening in our everyday lives and around them? You can only wonder. How many videos have we seen that clearly show how America is so R to the cyst? Just how many? Now there's so many that we can't even keep count. Talk more of those incidents that happen off cameras, and for someone who is black to say this is kind of surprising, really. But check out these videos. But when I get back, I will share a video by a palm color woman who disagrees to what these people are saying.
Pack your stuff and find another country that you might find more happiness in.
You Trumpsters don't recognize it, but when you say things like that, it exposes your on your occasion entitlement. Because you see, Barack Obama was president for 8 years, and you obviously was unhappy, but you didn't think that happiness made it where you should go. You feel entitled to be here. See, make America great again, that shows you that there was a time and place where you thought that America made you unhappy and it lost its greatness. Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Because you feel like you're a colonial settler that's entitled to be in this space and place, don't you? See, based on your logic of happiness and content, your ancestors should have packed up and left as soon as they felt like the native way of being in this old land, Turtle Island, was not the way to be. The second thing when it came to it is, hey, if you felt like you was unhappy and content with being in America between 2008 and 2016, you should have packed your shit and left, but you're still here. It's the conservative entitlement for me. It's a bit contradictory. It's obvious one of your melanated friends must have called you out and you was like, you know what, I'm still gonna celebrate your culture, but I'm gonna piss you off and be a Trump supporter. Man, your rap's whack too.
Pack your stuff and find another country that you might find more happiness in.
You Trumpsters don't recognize it, but when you say things like that, it exposes your Asian entitlement.
Hey, black immigrant Trumpster here. Apparently with a hint of colonial Asian entitlement. Now see, what you're saying would make sense if you would actually understand who we say those things to. This is not about being unhappy with the president, because you could make that same claim about Biden. We don't like him. We are unhappy with the way he is leading this country. Now there's a difference. When we said we didn't like Obama, we didn't say we don't like America. We weren't walking around claiming that this country is trash and that nothing great ever came out of this country. And we definitely weren't burning down flags. See, when we say we don't like Biden, we're not saying this is the worst country in the world. We're not claiming every other country is better than here. It's about more than the president. We are not going to claim that a whole business is trash just because the new manager is not running it right. So no, it's not the same. If one has nothing positive to say about the country that they live in, they are not forced to stay. They can leave. There are plenty of airports in this country. I guess that's one good thing, huh? So again, I see what you're saying, but understand context first.
Trying to send people to look like me back to Africa for, I don't know, since buggy whips and like that. That's why we can make it about us. Because it is always guys like that telling black and brown. I once heard a white man tell a Native American to go back where he came from. You think this is just a TikTok thing? No. So naturally we would say, yeah, that shit's racist because only racists are the ones saying it. Whether it's on social media or off. I bid you go back and look at some of them paperwork about going back to Africa. Just look, you'll be shocked. I seem to be one of those people that don't believe that. Right? There is a mindset for that, and there's a precedent for it. Consciously being the sort of educated person would know things like that. I do too, and I would talk to you about them, but let me reiterate, I'm higher than Giraffe Cat. Them gummies hit a little bit differently. But yes, there is a colonial mindset. A colonial, colonizing mindset. Yes, I just talked about it in the other half. And it's been around longer than social media has. There's always been people who seem to believe that because men found the land and white men built the buildings and like that, that they have a right to tell anybody that doesn't look like them to get back out. We've done this before. You understand that, right? We take that mentality around the world. Always have. Now, I get it. I understand. You are a conservative. So for you, America's always great. Okay. But for some of us, myself included, we don't see it that way. Our greatness isn't built on freedoms and liberty and guns and mom's apple pie. Our freedoms are built on the idea that we are better than you and we know it. That's why I don't have a problem saying it to certain people. Not you, though. I would never say that. I would never tell you that. You're so special. But no, we tell people all the time. What if you think we still walk around telling people this is the greatest country on earth? It absolutely is the greatest country on earth when you compare it to the we done fucked up.
I stand by what I said and what I wholeheartedly believe. America is not a racist country. Racism that does persevere, sadly, sometimes comes from my own people who call me antiquated names just because I don't fit into a liberal, monolithic mindset that they believe I should fit in just because of the color of my skin. It doesn't matter that I've been profiled and pulled over by Capitol Police at least 7 times a year since serving in the U.S. Senate. They're just doing their jobs. And it also doesn't matter that a lot of my Republican constituents say that I'm one of the good ones, because I am. I'm willing to put in the good, hard work that it takes to keep America being the non-racist country that it is. So continue to call me all the names you want, and continue to insult conservatives like myself, Clarence Thomas, and Thomas Sowell. All white conservatives who white conservatives love and adore. So if stuff ever goes down and it hits the fan, guess what? We're on their side, and they have our backs, and they'll never turn on us, because America is not a racist country.
Now, earlier I did mention that I will share a video by a palm color woman who disagrees with the people in the videos we're just from seeing. And in this clip, we will hear how she finds people who say that this country is not our to the cyst, because this country was basically built on the backs and with the blood of stolen black people who were enslaved. And honestly, this has never been acknowledged. Check a video out. I will be right back. And when I do, we talk more about this issue.
When people say racism doesn't exist in America, it is such.
This country was built on the backs and with the blood of stolen black people. We have never acknowledged that. We've certainly never atoned for it. So, here we are. And we have people, even Democrats at the highest level of government, saying America is not a racist country. Well, you know what, guys? Keep telling yourselves that, and nothing will ever change.
I think it's important that we talk about it and have very uncomfortable conversations about it and let people know that, hey, we're all in this together and we see what's going on. We see what that political party's doing. We see what they're trying to do in Florida with the education. We see what they're doing to women's rights in Oklahoma, and we see it, and we're going to talk about it.
Now, South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott shocked many people when, in response to President Joe Biden's congressional address, he stated that America is not a R to the cis country. He admitted that himself had experienced the pain of discrimination and noted, "I know what it feels like to be put over for no reason, to be followed around a store while I'm shopping." When asked on ABC's Good Morning America the following day, Vice President Kamala Harris seemed to agree with Scott when she said, "I don't think America is a R to the cis country." Yet immediately following this sentence, she quickly pointed out, "But we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today." As Soledad O'Brien said, "It sounds like a R to the cis country to me," in response to Scott, but it seemingly applies to comments by Harris as well. President Biden, who seemed to not pull any punches during his speech, stated, "We have a real chance to root out systemic racism that plagues America." However, Biden appeared to walk back his remarks on the Today Show to align more with Harris and Scott to a certain degree by noting that slavery and Jim Crow laws had a cost. Now, it is almost as if simply saying America is not R to the cis, but then turning the other cheek and saying it is R to the cis in subtler terms, and that R to the cis things have been done to you makes it okay. It is confusing to Americans and the international community. To supporters, these comments are disappointing. Now, to others, they were shocking. For me, the cognitive dissonance of some of our elected leaders is real and explainable. Now, this is an oversimplification of articism in America because, as socialist Eduardo Bonilla Silva notes, there can be systemic articism without artists. Now, when a president critiques America for the articism that is deeply embedded in our social institutions, some feel they are being personally attacked. Now, this is because deep down they realize that they benefit from unearned assets associated with palm-coloredness. Scott Harris and Biden recognize this and try to balance these varying perspectives as they worry about voters nationally in a state like South Carolina. Now, recently, a parent at a city council meeting had a meltdown when trying to explain why she does not want critical race theory taught in her children's school. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said that systemic articism as a concept is a bunch of horse manure. So not only has Florida made it legal to harm people protesting, but he banned teaching critical race theory in schools. For a deeper dive on critical race theory, people should read the work of socialist Victor Ray and Ted Thornhill, who lay out why DeSantis' perspective is problematic. Now, I found an article where this person said they conducted research with Matt Hunt on what predicts who believes they are middle class for education, income, and occupational prestige. Black people are less likely to identify as middle class compared to palm-colored people with comparable levels of these socioeconomic outcomes. Why? It is because social class is not just about what a person looks like on paper, but how people experience social class in everyday life and the difference that one receives for their socioeconomic status. Black people are less likely to get that difference, while palm-colored people are often afforded more. Now, it is so commonplace for palm-colored people that some cannot fathom living without it. This is because many palm-colored people, particularly people with lower levels of education and income, realize that whiteness comes with a premium that extends beyond economics to include cultural and social capital. As President Lyndon Johnson said, if you can't convince the lowest palm-colored man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Harrison Scott's comments are puzzling at a broader level, as well as considering how much of a collective memory their experiences with articism are. Harris reliving her systemic experiences with Bassing and Scott recounting the nearly 20 times he has been pulled over by police, where being an elected official potentially made the interaction worse. Now, these stories acknowledge that life is different if you're black, and unfortunately, systemic articism seems to ripple through our social institutions and into our daily social interactions. Whether in Congress or at a coffee shop down the street from the Capitol, these types of experiences, racialized cuts and hurdles, have cumulative effect on health. Sociologists Pam Jackson and Jason Cummings research documents that middle-class blacks have worse health profiles than working-class palm-colored people. They attribute this difference to the daily racialized trauma experienced in predominantly white environments like work and neighborhood settings. Systemically, we know that black people compared to palm-colored people are more likely to attend schools with less funding per student, less likely to obtain a job because of our branding name, or even when attending an Ivy League university, less likely to obtain a home loan even when having the same credit score, have their homes appraised for equitable value, more likely to experience pregnancy complications and maternal mortality, and more likely to have contact with police and the criminal justice system. Systemic articism inhibits rather than prohibits, like in the past, people's ability to actualize all aspects of the American dream. This occurs even for highly educated black people with high incomes and no criminal record. In fact, research documents that palm-colored people with a criminal record are more likely to get called back for a job than black people without one. Research documents that hard work for lack thereof intellect or criminality do not explain these outcomes. Instead, it is the articism embedded deeply within the social institutions, policies, rules, regulations, and laws that segment people's experiences along racial lines. It is the same for gender. Women can achieve but have a much harder time doing so. If not, America would have had a woman vice president and speaker of the House sitting behind the president long before 2021. What people do not seem to realize is that being upwardly mobile does not negate encountering artist hurdles on the pathway to success. Our current system is set up for some people to have to jump over hurdles to succeed, while others get to simply run to the finish line without those same racial hurdles. Rather, it is about whether the pathways to success are equitable. Now, this is what America says. It is an equitable democracy. People are pushing for America to reach its true ideals, and the only way this can properly occur is acknowledging the systemic barriers that prevent us from getting there. Moreover, it is not that racial progress has not been made. It is that the United States has yet to make enough progress. In this regard, comments of our top elected officials are disappointing yet predictable. We have finally come to the end of the video. What do you, my viewers, have to say about this video? Share your comments, your thoughts, your views down below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.